my channel again. Alexander is here, and today is a great day to practice speaking skills, so let's do it. And people, it's so pleasure to me to be here with you and to be able to speak English, because I don't know if you have been following me here, but I have been studying English for a while, for I believe a long time. It's almost 4 years until now, and it is since then it have been doing so difficult to me, because sometimes we thought that we are not improving anything, but I believe since a year ago I started to see my results. I started to see my development and my improvement by myself, because I decided to apply to a private teacher who just speaking English with me, and we started to make some conversations here by videos, by Skype, and I started to learn with him a lot. So since then, when I started to practice English every day, or I don't practice every day because I have no money to pay him, because there's a much cost to get everyday class by a private teacher, but it is so useful to me, because even if I just do it once a week, it's so important to know that when you apply, when you put yourself in that challenges, your brain started to show what you learn since you started to study, because you leave your comfort zone. So when you do that, you will learn. So I would like to thank you for everyone who are watching here that videos, because it makes me so proud about my career. And for you, if you don't know me yet, I'd like to introduce me for you. I'm Alexandre Gonçalves. I'm Brazilian, so I live in Brazil, and specifically in a state called Paraná, in a city of Araucaria. And my profession, my job is I'm an occupational safety technician. My main job normally is to prevent accidents, diseases in the workplaces. We using or propose to the employers using or develop some equipment, personal protective equipment for the employers and for the employees. So it is very important to evaluate, to make some searches in workplaces, to carry out about some situations which can be wrong, can be injure our workers. So that's my main goal. But behind, how can I say? Beside that, I have another course, another graduate, which means I'm a civil firefighter, which I have a. You can see here, but it's not my. Okay, just I put that picture behind me here because my background here, because I really appreciate that team, which is the firefighters. I really appreciate their work, their job. I enjoy it so much because they are so useful for everyone, for the human. So congratulate for them. If they are watching that video, I'd like to show my admirations for them, how I appreciate the friendship, because I know some of them. I know some people who work with that, and I know that it's not easy. It's difficult sometimes, but they have been doing a great job here in Brazil, here in Araucaria specifically, where I live, and I really appreciate the partnership with my event. So that picture here is about my last event, which I did. We are asked to the government, to the laws here related to jobs. We are asked to at least once a week, once a year, made it a huge, made it a completely scenario, emergency scenario, made it, we simulate some bad things which may occur in our workplace. And we started to make some plans, emergency plan for carry out about that emergency which happened. So we, in that situation, we have some groups here, which we are enjoyed in my last job, which was the PAM. In Portuguese, it is Plano de Atendimento Mútuo. But in English, I don't know how it can call, but it is a cooperation by government, by statement, by provincial and things like that. So we have a lot. We have a partnership with firefighters, with the policemen, with the uh, other companies which do the same thing like us, and every emergency group. So that it was so interesting. So one of the best things of my career, which I was able to join, I was able to help to occur that situation, and I really appreciate what we did. We did a great job with that glorious people who are work for our safety, our health, and our life, the firefighters. So congratulations for them. Uh, another other thing. So that's who I am. I work with that. I made some trainings. I'm able to do some evaluations, some so everything which is related to the job to work safe, to workplace, and with a safety way. That's who I am. Okay. But why I'm here speaking English with you if I'm just an occupational safety technician? Because I would like to, of course, I have some dreams yet. I would like to be able to speak English. First of all, I'd like to speak English because I have been applied for jobs who requires that I'm able to speak in English, and of course, the salary it's more in height of my actually because just because I'm speaking English. So if you are able to speak English here in Brazil, you probably have the opportunity to get a better salaries and things like that. But there's other things involved which I decided to study English. One of them is that it's better salaries, better jobs, things like that. Other of them is to use it's so I really like to speak English. I really like to learn English, and I will be so happy, I'll be so proud if you one day I find a job which they ask me to speak English with them daily. It would be so magic thing to me. I really hope that one day that can be happen with my life in my life. And third one is to travel, of course. Today is a day where I will apply to my first passport in Brazil. Today is 12/23 December. It's December 23 here in Brazil. I I will go. I will gonna to the how can I say to the police office, that's it, to the federal police office here in Brazil to apply to my first passport. We have an appointment already, so I'm really happy for today. Today marks the really important point in my life, and that's is related to with our English study. So that is another thing which can provide me opportunities to travel for other countries which they speak in English there, and I'll be able to communicate with them to do things without help and without any help and related to communicate, without situations which can be embarrass me because I felt so bad when if I traveled for other countries and I couldn't speak their language, so it embarrassed sometimes. Not it's not a problem, of course, but I prefer in my case I prefer to be able to speak English. Um, Other situations, uh, it is of course it is just for people who have money to pay private teachers learn English, practice speak English. No, it does not because uh, today we live in a world with we have the internet. Internet it's so we are developing in that areas in that fields of the technology. So the internet helps us a lot with that, with video classes, exactly what I'm doing now. And one thing which I really appreciate, I really like thought that interesting is we have Zoom, we have Google Meet, we have Skype, we have so many platforms for speaking English with people face to face. It's like face to face, of course. Face to face is someone who are in front of you, but just you can see their faces by the screen. It is very important. It's better than just send audio messages, but I prefer to video call messages. and I have been applying some groups which the Facebook provides. There's so many groups who with people who are learning English and wish to have and want to practice as you and as me. So I apply to that groups and I make some friendships there. And I have been talking with people who lives in that countries. For instance, I have a colleague who lives in Bangladesh. His name is Jihadu. I don't know if he watching. Jihadu, thank you so much for your partnership here because we are improving English together. Thank you so much. You are awesome. I had received some invitation by other persons who would like to learn English and practice English with me. So it's very important to have to be involved in that community. If you are learning English, it's so important. So that there's so many things that we can do to improve our English skills. And in my case, I'm so proud by my improvement, as I said in the first part of that video. And I just been recording that video today just to show that we will start to post video here with you nor even more than that than yesterday, than even more than the beginning of that YouTube channel, because I have two YouTube channels here. One is related exactly by my job, relate about my job, but that here is specifically just to English conversation. So every video which I post here, which I'm gonna post here, it will be in English, relate to an English things which where English can help me in my life or have been helping in my life learn English, or things which I had difficult to learn, which I found um, it was strange and stranger things, things like that. So I will post some notes here, some news here for you, and I hope that you appreciate that YouTube channel. And if you aren't subscribed in my YouTube channel, I ask you now to subscribe here, give me your attention, because I believe it will be happy for everyone. And if you like to share your experience with me, if you are learning English, if you are already speaking English and like to talk with me, just leave in a message below here and let's make an appointment. Let's start speaking together. There's many opportunities all over the world to practice English with people who live, as I said, all over the world. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon in my next video. That's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.